Over the last 6 years, I've received texts, emails, phone calls, social media comments from people I've never met, and conversations at conferences I've been to saying things like, "Hey, Rick, I needed to hear that," or "That episode changed how I look at my business," or "That one really hit home," or just "Keep up the good work, Rick. We love what you do." Those messages, that's my paycheck, because I've never made a dime doing this. No sponsors, no ads, nothing. Just the hope that maybe, somewhere, one person hears something that changes their life. And then, about 2 months ago, something happened. Something happened that almost ended all of it, and it scared the hell out of me.
Mind Wrench whispers truth so clear, tips that drive away the fear. Rick's voice cuts through the noise.
Welcome to the Mind Wrench podcast with your host, Rick Sellover, where minor adjustments produce major improvements in mindset, personal growth, and success. This is the place to be every Monday, where we make small improvements and take positive actions in our business and personal lives that will make a major impact in our success, next level growth, and quality of life.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mind Wrench podcast. I'm your host, Rick Sellover. Thanks so much for stopping in. If you're a returning listener and haven't done so already, please take a minute and click the follow or subscribe button and then rate and review the show. When you rate and review the show, the algorithms for Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and all the other platforms will see that it's valuable and show it to more people that have never seen it before. And hopefully it can help them too. I would really appreciate your help sharing this word with your friends and family as well. And if you're a brand new listener, welcome. I hope you find something of value here that helps you in your personal or professional life as well. Please make sure to click the subscribe or follow button so you never miss another episode. If you've been listening to the show for a while, or been on the receiving end of my daily quote of the day emails, or maybe just catch my posts on Facebook or LinkedIn, you know I'm all about the quotes, right? If you'd like to start receiving my quote of the day emails, there's a link in the show notes to sign up. It's free and you can unsubscribe at any time. You know, in just a few weeks, the Mind Wrench podcast turned 6 years old. Honestly, I still have a hard time believing that. 6 years, over 225 episodes, dozens of incredible guests, hundreds of conversations, and thousands of listeners all over the world. In fact, this podcast has touched 128 countries and over 2,500 cities. And if you've been with me for any part of this journey, whether you've listened to one episode or every episode, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you. The podcast has never been about downloads or stats. It's never been about sponsors. It's never been about making money or internet fame or any of that garbage. It's always been about one thing, making a difference. The origins of this podcast came from a burning desire to share my knowledge, my experience, my observations, and lessons learned from serving this incredible collision repair industry for the majority of my life. I realized there's a lot of things that needed to be said. Things vendors don't usually say. Things they are afraid to say. Things consultants sometimes dance around. Things shop owners need to hear even when they're uncomfortable. You know, things like your two crotch-sniffing dogs in the front office are not what customers want to deal with when coming in for an estimate. In fact, some people are deathly afraid or even allergic to dogs. Or your, buddy, the head painter, throws out more mixed clear in a day than he puts on your customers' cars. And he says he doesn't care because you make more than enough money with this shop. These are the kind of things shop owners should hear. They deserve to hear. Not because I want to criticize anyone, because I genuinely wanted people to become better operators, better leaders, and honestly, better human beings. I'm sure every vendor out there that serves the collision industry knows exactly what I mean, right? Sometimes you have to tell them their baby's ugly. That's why the Mind Wrench was born. Over the last 6 years, I've received texts, emails, phone calls, social media comments from people I've never met, and conversations at conferences I've been to saying things like, "Hey, Rick, I needed to hear that," or "That episode changed how I look at my business," or "That one really hit home," or just "Keep up the good work, Rick. We love what you do." Those messages, that's my paycheck, because I've never made a dime doing this. No sponsors, no ads, nothing. Just the hope that maybe, somewhere, one person hears something that changes their life. And then, about 2 months ago, something happened. Something happened that almost ended all of it, and it scared the hell out of me. Sunday morning, about 5 a.m, there I was, being rolled out on a gurney in my driveway, watching flashing lights bounce off the houses in my neighborhood, being loaded into the back of an ambulance. 64 years old. It's my very first ride to an emergency room. Not as a visitor, not supporting a family member, but as the patient. And I'll tell you something, I never saw it coming. But looking back now, the warning signs couldn't have been much clearer. The night before I told my wife I was just exhausted. We had a busy Saturday. I figured I just needed some sleep. But something wasn't right. My speech was getting sloppy. My balance was off. I almost fell over trying to put my shorts on. But deep down, I knew. But then something else showed up. My ego. It whispered, "You'll be fine. Just get some sleep. You'll feel better in the morning." And unfortunately, I listened. After all the tests, the CT scans, the MRIs, the heart ultrasounds, all the nurses, the doctors, reality started sinking in. And to be honest with you, I was more than scared. I was overwhelmed. Not because I thought I would die, but because I thought I might lose who I was. If you're running a collision shop, whether second generation, third generation, or original owner, grinding every day, putting out fires, chasing KPIs, working in rather than on the business, and wondering why progress still feels slower than it should, let's take a little pause right here. As a longtime industry supplier, performance coach, and host of this podcast, I've worked inside this industry for over 4 decades, and I've learned a few things the hard way. Tools and tactics absolutely matter, but mindset drives everything. How you think shapes how you lead, how you hire, how you grow, and how you show up when things get messy. That's where one-on-one coaching makes the difference. You get focused conversations, real accountability, and guidance tailored to you and your shop, not generic cookie-cutter advice. The collision repair business has changed dramatically in the last few years. The technology, the tools, the equipment needed to repair today's new vehicles. Customer expectations have varied by generation. OEM certifications and repair procedures. ADAS calibrations, electric vehicles, and the ever-growing national technician shortage. It's a lot, isn't it? It can be absolutely overwhelming and very challenging on where to focus first, right? If only I had someone who could help me find clarity in all the chaos. If only there was someone that could help guide me through the changes I need to make so I could create a successful business and increase my net revenue. If only I had a coach that could help me without getting in my way or trying to run my business for me or costing me a fortune. This is where I can help. The goal is simple. Help you make consistent improvements, build sustainable culture, gain better profitability, and shave years off the learning curve. If you're open to adjusting how you think and how you lead, book a free 15-minute discovery call with me right now. No sales pitch, no blue sky promises, just an honest conversation to see if it's a fit. You have absolutely nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Secure a spot now. You see, I make my living verbally communicating. I talk with teammates and customers. I coach and mentor other professionals. I host this podcast. I co-host a popular industry show. I present on stages. What if I couldn't do that anymore? What happens to the Mind Wrench? What happens to my coaching clients? What happens to all the things I love doing? Those thoughts, they came fast. And every one of those was fueled by fear. Now, just to give a little family background, heart disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure have been part of my family's story for as long as I can remember. My parents both battled heart disease. My siblings have dealt with diabetes and other serious health issues, and even my younger brother had suffered a heart attack a few years ago. But me, I was the guy who wasn't on any medications, no diabetes, never spent any time in the hospital except as a visitor sitting beside someone else. So mentally, this was really hard to wrap my head around. If I'm being honest, my ego had me convinced I was somehow the exception. I always rolled my eyes when people talked about hereditary diseases. I figured, that won't happen to me. I'm different. I honestly believe I could outrun my genetics. Turns out, you can't outrun them, but you can decide how you're going to respond when they finally catch up to you. Well, sitting in that hospital room, I had to face a hard truth. I wasn't different. I'd spent years ignoring warning signs because they didn't fit the story I wanted to believe. At some point, I caught myself. Because I've spent years telling other people, you can't always control what happens to you, but you can control what happens inside you. And then suddenly, they weren't just podcast words anymore or messages. Now, I had to live them. So I made a decision. I wasn't going to spend my energy asking, why me? Why now? I was going to spend my time asking, now what? And that's when everything changed. So if you've listened to this podcast, if you've ever shared an episode, sent me a message, stopped me at a conference, or simply spent part of your day listening to me, thank you. You have no idea what that means to me. All the different ways I tried to add value in this industry, whether it's my podcast, my co-hosting of the Collision Cocktail Hour, my Quote of the Day emails, even my Facebook and LinkedIn posts, or my one-on-one coaching with business owners, it has all been focused on helping those in this collision industry I have loved serving for almost 50 years, helping them become better operators, better leaders, and better people. A few short months ago, sitting alone in a hospital room, I realized something. None of us knows how much time we really have, right? We all think there'll be another tomorrow, another conference, another podcast, another opportunity to tell somebody that they mattered. I know this is a very personal story, and probably more information you needed to know, but I felt it was important for a couple reasons. First, like myself, many men and women in their 50s and 60s, especially in our industry, tend to go about our daily lives like we're 10 foot tall and bulletproof, while we've treated our bodies for the last 30 years like a dirt bike or jet ski that we drove hard and put away wet, right? We really need to understand that we aren't indestructible. We do need to take better care of ourselves if we expect to enjoy some quality of life in our golden years. Eat better foods, exercise regularly, reduce the vices a bit, practice mindfulness and gratitude, and find more balance and peace than stress and battles. And secondly, your mindset and how you handle life's unexpected curves can greatly control your outcomes. Now, it's not a magic wand, and some things you won't be able to change, but how you think about things and staying positive about moving forward can make a world of difference. Remember, my favorite quote from Henry Ford, whether you think you can or think you can't, you'll be right. Sometimes life reminds us not to wait. So today I simply wanted you to know I'm grateful, extremely grateful. Grateful for another chance to do what I do. Grateful for my family. Grateful for my friends, grateful for my health, grateful for this industry, and grateful for you. Because if there was never another episode of the Mind Wrench podcast, I would want my last words to my listeners to be, thank you. Now, I've got a feeling there's still a whole lot more conversations ahead of us. So until next time, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Keep learning, keep growing, keep leading, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Mind Wrench podcast. Well, that's all I had for you today. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you have a great week. I can always be reached at www.ricksillover.com, where you can find all my social media links, podcast episodes, blog posts, and much more.
Mind Wrench